Today I'm going to talk about the COULD project, Dative and the OLD. Dative is software for collaborative linguistic fieldwork. It is a graphical user interface that runs in the web browser and which makes it easy to work with online linguistic databases. An online linguistic database, or OLD, is a database of language data that exposes a simple RESTful JSON interface, making it highly reusable. The goal of Dative is to make contributing to collaboratively built databases of rare language data both pleasant and beneficial to the linguist. Dative allows you to browse linguistic data in the highly readable, vertically aligned interlinear gloss text format that is familiar to linguists. Here we see linguistic forms being added, and then updated, and finally deleted. When a form is updated, its previous state is saved. The history of an updated form can then be viewed. A form can be duplicated, making it easy to quickly create new forms that are similar to existing ones. The visibility of form fields can be controlled at a fine-grained level, so you can see just the data you want to see. Forms have metadata, some of which is created automatically, like enterer, modifier, and date times entered and modified, and some of which is added by you, such as speaker, elicitor, and source. Related attributes of linguistic forms can be viewed in greater detail by clicking on them. They can also be updated from within this interface. Form fields can be specified as sticky, so that their last entered values will stick around when creating new forms. This makes it easy to quickly create many forms that all have the same elicitation session related metadata. Digital files such as audio files and images can be associated to each form. Audio files can be categorized according to whether they are recordings of the object language or the meta or analysis language, making them more easily reusable by language learning tools. Dative automatically recognizes matches between the morphemes you enter and your lexical entries. Exact matches are color-coded as blue links. Partial matches are green links, and unrecognized morphemes are not links. This lets you see immediately whether your morphological analyses are consistent with your lexical entries. Syntactic category string and break gloss category values are generated automatically for you, based on your morphological analyses and the morphemes already in the database. These values allow for searches that target specific morphotactic patterns or specific morphemes. Forms can be tagged, allowing for easy categorization and grouping. Forms can be searched, and searches can be saved. Other users can view and browse your saved searches, or build their own, by duplicating yours and then modifying them. Searches can be advanced with many criteria. Or they can be smart searches, with Dative trying to guess what it is that you want. Searches can be used to define corpora. Corpora are subsets of the forms in your database. They can be used to create morphological parsers, which we will see more soon. A corpus can also be created by explicitly referencing the forms that you want in it, using the ID values of those forms. Forms can also be grouped into collections. A collection may contain formatted prose and/or references to forms. A collection could represent a record of an elicitation, a research paper, or a narrative. Forms can be exported, either individually or as a whole. While only JSON and CSV export options are available right now, additional options such as LaTeX, PDF, and Open Word formats will be implemented soon. Comma-separated values files containing forms can be imported via the import interface. The interface will help you validate your CSV file, fix errors, and add the required auxiliary resources. Dative's appearance can be easily changed, and it has searchable help built into it. The users of a database and their access levels can be managed by administrators, so that control over access can be made to accord with research agreements. Dative allows users to create any number of morphological parsers. These can be used to automate the creation of morphological representations, or when that fails, to indicate failings of the analyses that underlie the parsers, or the absence of needed lexical items. To create a parser requires writing a phonology that maps underlying morphological representations to a surface representation, a surface transcription. Phonologies are written using a finite state transducer toolkit, which interprets grammars written using the context-sensitive phonological rewrite rules that are familiar to linguists. Dative helps to automate the testing of phonologies by allowing you to specify tests that they must pass, and then checking whether they do pass them. Besides being a crucial component in morphological parsers, phonologies themselves can be used to automate the generation of transcription values from users' morpheme break values in real time, thus expediting data creation. There is a website for the Dative project at www.dative.ca. This website contains screencasts explaining how to perform common tasks with Dative, as well as frequently asked questions. There is also a website for the Online Linguistic Database project at www.onlinelinguisticdatabase.org. This site contains frequently asked questions, as well as code recipes in Python that illustrate how to work with an OLD instance programmatically. This is useful for technologically adept users who want to get their hands on the raw data. It is also useful for programmers who may want to build language learning or other applications that harvest data from an OLD API. The OLD website provides details on the existing OLD instances, including a graph showing how much data is in each database. By playing with this graph, you can see how many phrases, words, morphemes, texts, audio files, video files, and image files are in each database. One use case for the OLD API is to perform cross-linguistic searches. The Cross-OLD Searches project is a command line tool that assists with this. Here we see cross-OLD searches being used to find forms whose translation contains an English noun phrase that contains the adjective big. The results being shown here indicate that most of the languages we are searching over express this modifier as a free morpheme, that is, as an independent word. However, both Blackfoot and the Okanagan have verbal affixes that mean big. To migrate existing datasets to Dative, there are three options. You can use the CSV import feature in Dative to import forms. The second option is to use the OLD API to programmatically upload existing datasets to an OLD. Or you can use the LingSync to OLD migration script available on GitHub to migrate existing LingSync databases to a Dative OLD system. Dative, the OLD, and the other smaller related projects mentioned here are all open source, and their source code can be found on GitHub. Thank you for your time.